Good evening. I'm Stuart Watchman, ZL2TW from Blenheim.
And I'm Debbie Morgan, ZL2DL in Upper Hutt.
I'm Rosemary Bosher, ZL1RO in Auckland.
And I'm Stephen McNeil, ZL4HG from Christchurch.
And I'm Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF, and together we bring you the NZART official broadcast for July 2016. Good evening everyone, and welcome to NZART's July official broadcast, tonight originating from Auckland. Leading tonight's broadcast, presidential comment. Here's our NZART President, Stuart Watchman, ZL2TW. Stuart?
Good evening to all listeners. There's not been a lot happening this month, so it's a fairly brief message from me tonight. 2 weeks ago, the Auckland VHF group celebrated their 60th anniversary. As a former committee member, I would have loved to have attended this, however work commitments prevented me. I joined the VHF group back in the early 1980s while in my teens and was made particularly welcome. I have not forgotten that welcome. If you have younger members joining your club or showing an interest, the welcome you give could well make a lasting impression. In fact, it should make a lasting good impression, so please make sure your club makes that special effort with new amateurs, especially younger ones. During the recent very successful membership promotion, the problem of inaccuracy of the RSM amateur call sign database surfaced again. Over 400 envelopes were received back in NZART headquarters marked Return to Sender, as the amateurs attached to those call signs had changed addresses and not notified the RSM, as is required by the radio regulations. Debbie and our Administration Liaison Officer Don Wallace are raising this problem with the RSM to see what can be done. I do ask all listeners to help us improve this situation. Irrespective of NZART membership, if you know of inaccurate call book addresses, please approach the amateur or amateurs concerned pointing out that their address is incorrect. You can assist here by pointing out that their details need updating and checking if they know how to do this. In the next info line and on the website, we have instructions on how to do this. Failing that, you can contact Debbie at headquarters. It is everyone's best interest, again, no matter if members or not, that the RSM database is kept as accurate as possible. Coming up in September is another Westfest at the Murchison Bowling Club on the 10th and 11th of September. The program is being organised by Bob, ZL3TY and Greymouth, and the registration fee will be minimal with payment on the day and no pre-registration needed. There will be more details via the usual channels closer to the event. Events like this are lots of fun and have been picked up in other areas, examples being the Eastfest in Ashburton, held on alternate years to Westfest, and the regular Hawke's Bay Hamfest. These events are pretty straightforward to run and allow amateurs to attend events that might be off the track a little. Perhaps areas like Southland, the Waikato, or Northland should consider running similar events. Well, that's it from me tonight, Jim. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Stuart. The President of NZART, Stuart Watchman, ZL2TW. The Hamilton Market Day will be held on the 13th of August at the Waikato Table Tennis Stadium in Edgecombe Street, Hamilton. Go to the Hamilton Club website, zl1ux.org.nz, for maps and further information. Details are the same as last year and in fact for the last few years. Sellers have access from 8 a.m. and buyers can enter at 10 a.m. Table space will be $20 per space if booked in advance and $25 on the day. As always, there is free entry for buyers and there will be food available for purchase at the cafeteria. More details, including a seller's registration form, are on the Hamilton Club website. Again, that's zl1ux.org.nz. Hamilton Market Day on the 13th of August. Onwards to Upper Hutt now, and it's a very good evening to NZART Business Manager, Debbie Morgan, ZL2DL.
Good evening, Jim, and good evening, everyone. In the last issue of HQ Infoline, I advised that a number of branches had yet to submit their call book details to be listed in this year's edition. I deliberately did not include a list of those branches, as they will be named in the next break-in due out at the beginning of next month. I would like to thank those who have recently returned their forms to me. However, as the magazine has now gone to print, some of those branch names will be included. Rest assured, I have advised the new call book compiler, Peter Mulhere, ZL2IK of your updates. Included in the next break-in will be your invoice for the 2017 subscription year. As with previous years, the rebate of $10 is applicable to transmitting and family membership categories only until the end of November this year. The rebate does not include overseas nor student memberships. Your break-in address sheet with its new design should be a good reminder to check inside to make sure you have received your invoice. If you have not received an invoice, this means that you do not have to pay, as somehow you have managed to pay in advance throughout the year. For those of you paying by automatic payment, you will receive an invoice only to ensure your membership is debited the correct amount. You do not need to do anything apart from make sure your regular payments continue. In the September-October issue of Break-In, the returning officer, Evan Sayer, will be calling for nominations to council for the 2017 elections. Please consider standing. This is an opportunity for you to make those changes you feel are needed for the benefit of amateur radio. That's all from me, Jim. Back to you.
And thank you, Debbie. Debbie Morgan, ZL2DL, our NZART Business Manager. And from the organiser of the Sangster Shield Contest 2016, Glenn Kingston, ZL2KZ, says thanks again to all who took part. Numbers were up with 18 logs received as against 10 for last year. From logs there were 22 participants in total, and it was good to see entrants returning from some time back. But a few of the regulars such as Tom ZL1WW, Sid ZL2BIF and Ken ZL1AIH were missed. Scores were generally more competitive than last year. Congratulations to newcomer Lars ZL1IF operating ZL1AM club station in winning the Sangster Shield with 13,875 points. Frank ZL2BR, our NZART contest manager, was in second place with 13,350 points. Paul ZL1PC, the Sangster Shield senior 4-times champion, was third this year with 12,525 points. Barry ZL2LN has won the Arthur Stevens Trophy as top South Island station with Bill ZL3VZ second and Alistair ZL2ARC third. This is Barry's 9th South Island win from 2006, many of which were multiple hat-tricks. Two branches, Whangarei 28 and New Plymouth 27, each managed 3 entrants. The Tony Fletcher ZL2ALJ Memorial Trophy Branch Award goes to Whangarei Branch with the highest overall score. The 16 qualifying active branches for the contest were 3, 16, 22, 24, 27, 28, 41, 42, 50, 56, 65, 69, 80, 84, 87 and 88. Look for the full results of the Sangster Shield in your next copy of Break-In. That information from contest organiser Glenn Kingston, ZL2KZ. Right now on the broadcast, it's time for Waro News, and it's a very good evening to Rosemary, ZL1RO.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. The Hamilton Market Day is on Saturday the 13th of August, and as usual, YLs will get together for morning tea. All ladies are welcome to come along. They do not have to be YO members to attend. A couple of items from our AGM which you may have missed. Celia ZL1ALK has retired from the executive after a long stint in various capacities. In recent years, Celia has been sponsorship secretary, and Marlene ZL1MYL has kindly taken on that task. Celia is a foundation member of Waro, and she'll still be heard on Auckland repeaters. The Australian YL Group's Alara Phone and CW contest is being held over 24 hours from 0600 hours UTC on Saturday the 27th of August to 05:59 hours UTC on Sunday the 28th of August. The contest is on HF 2 metres and on Echolink. and is open to all licensed operators. Full details can be found in the latest Alara magazine or on the website, which is www.alara.org.au/contests. A number of Waro members are also Alara members, and it's hoped they'll get on the air and support the contest. A reminder from the Treasurer that subs are due before the end of August to obtain the discount. I have a message from Waro President Kathy ZL2ADK which reads as follows. It is with regret that I announce the passing in Taupo of one of our Waro Foundation members, Florence Voss, ZL1AXP. Flo and her OM were very active amateurs in the Taupo area on all bands for many, many years. They were particularly known as the anchorpins for the SIR group, that's the Sick and Idle Rich, for many years at 8 a.m. every morning on 80 metres. It was here that I, Kathy, first came in contact with Flo when I became licensed. Although I didn't meet any of the group's criteria, was fully included, especially while my OM was overseas. Kathy and Brian actually met Flo and Sandy several times and made a point of catching up with them as they travelled through Taupo in the 70s and 80s. Flo attended Waro's 40th birthday in Rotorua in 2002, but in recent years she was not in good health. To Flo's family we send our deepest condolences. I have corresponded with them on all of Waro's behalf. So 54 years after Flo met in Rotorua, along with Thelma Super, ZL2JO, Celia Reid, ZL1ALK, Vicky Shaw, ZL1OC, Judith Holland, ZL1AWM, and Jeanette Barker, ZL1ANA, to form our wonderful group. Waro says thank you, and may you rest in peace. And our thanks to Kathy for those words. That's all from Waro for this month, Jim. Good night, everyone.
And thank you, Rosemary. Reporting for Waro, Rosemary Bozier, ZL1RO. And finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's Branch News. Here's Stephen McNeil, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. We start with the Hibiscus Coast Radio Society, with a meeting on Wednesday the 17th of August, starting at 8 p.m. at the club rooms. The evening will see a presentation by James on technology developments in amateur radio. To Western Suburbs Branch 03 NZART, where the next meeting is on Saturday the 27th of August, starting from 10 a.m. Gary Bold, ZL1AN, will give a talk with the title How We Went to the Moon, and that talk will be at the club rooms, which are at 3000 Great North Road, New Lynn in Waitakere City. Hastings Branch 13 NZART will be shifting its normal meeting date to Sunday the 21st of August. The speaker will be Diane Story, who is a retired radio service person, and she will talk about the journey she's made through her career. Now, this is a talk suitable for everyone, including wives and partners, and it will be held at the Papakawai Hall on Papakawai Road in Pakawai. Hutt Valley Branch 18 NZART has its next meeting on Monday, August the 1st, starting 7:30 p.m. The activity for the evening is to build and test a homebrew oscillator, and that's held at the club rooms in the Philip Evans Reserve in Waterloo in Lower Hutt. We've got great news here of activities in the recently re-established NZART Branch 82. That's the South Wairarapa Radio Club. The branch will be holding a luncheon on Saturday the 6th of August in the Working Men's Club in Greytown, and this is located on the corner of Main Street and Hastwell. The start time is 12:30 p.m. The guest speaker will be Stuart Watchman, ZL2TW, the President of NZART. Now that's really great news. Over the straight to Nelson Branch 26, where the next club meeting night is on Wednesday, August the 17th. This is a show and tell. Bring something along to share with the meeting. And the meetings are held at the National Party Electorate Office meeting rooms, which is on the corner of Waimea and Quarantine Roads. Now to Christchurch Branch 05, where the next meeting is on Wednesday the 3rd of August at the club rooms at 5 Idris Road, Fendleton, starting 7:30 p.m. The speaker for the evening will be Michael Wise, who collects World War II clandestine or spy radios used in Europe and the Pacific. Some of these radios are restored originals, while others are replicas he has built from scratch. Michael has a passion for radio starting at age 8, and he became a ham in 1983. As a missionary in the West Indian Islands, he held the call J87AB, and he also holds the ZL3AZ and G0GPX call signs. His presentation will cover a little of his life and a lot about his collection. Now to Otago Branch 30, where the August meeting is on Wednesday the 3rd at the club rooms in McAndrew Road in South Dunedin. Terry, ZL4TAE, will be giving a talk on electronics, power supplies and linear regulators. And finally, before we go tonight, just a few words about Westfest, which is on the weekend of the 10th and 11th of September. Note the dates now. Westfest starts at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday the 10th and finishes just after midday on Sunday the 11th. And it'll be held at the Murchison Bowling Club rooms in Wallace Street in Murchison. Now, for those who haven't been to Westfest before, it's an informal gathering of hams and interested other folk. There are talks on various radio topics from a range of different speakers and other activities. For more information, contact Bob Macquarie, ZL3TY, and the email address is zl3ty@nzart.org.nz. That email address again, zl3ty@nzart.org.nz. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeil, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next issue of NZART Headquarters Infoline, that's number 341, will be emailed on Friday the 5th of August. The next NZART official broadcast will be made by ZL6A at 8 p.m. on Sunday the 28th of August. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the official broadcast for July 2016. Good night, everyone. Good night now.